And Milad, morning. It's like we're still building off the low that we built yesterday that was established at 3 o'clock. Now, it hasn't been a great range since that time. It's a little over 100 points, but compared to the move down, we haven't really made a lot of headwind into that space. Let me just go ahead and measure it. Right, I stand corrected. We're almost at equilibrium, just a tick or two away. Equilibrium of the move down is not too far away from consequent encroachment of the city we're currently inside of. So we'll see how that plays on price. Let's go ahead and grab the calendar quickly. Let's take a look at where we are. All right, so we do have high impact news driver at 10. We have a revision of the University of Michigan consumer sentiment, which I believe was 2 weeks ago on Friday the 10th. So they now have, I guess, more data. So they most likely take a large portion of the data that's in, they make a report, and they make um, an announcement of what they have, their findings, and then they go through more detailed data and probably gather some of the um, late received data, throw that in as well, revise the numbers, and then come back and report. Similar to what they do with unemployment, they'll give out a number and then they'll come back a week and a half later and say, okay, well, we revised it and now it's a percentage point different. So we'll get that at 10 o'clock. We did have at 8:30, and right after the opening bell, we'll have FOMC member Waller speaking. These are all medium impact drivers, so they might move the market a little bit, or at least 8:30. That's already happened. 9:35. I'm not sure how you differentiate this from the 9:30, but at 10 we will have a high impact news driver. So let's just keep that in mind. Also, let's just look and see where the other indices have been trading since we closed out yesterday. Right. So looks like as far as, I mean, we just saw that NQ is really close to getting to equilibrium of this price leg down. Uh, see, S&P is not even close. And just by looking, we can see the Dow hasn't really made progress. It barely has overtaken the 2 o'clock candle. So with that being said, I think NQ is still what we would consider the leader for longs. The strongest of the three, and then the weakest of the three would be the Dow. But if you were just comparing S&P and NQ, you'd probably say that S&P was weaker. So we'll also keep that in mind for those who trade multiple indices. Um, yep. So you'll probably look for longs on NQ and look for shorts on S&P, unless you're trading the Dow, and you can look for shorts there as well. But if we look at the range of the dollar has actually been moving quite a bit since yesterday. Right, closure of yesterday was at this high, and it's already traded. Just by eyeballing it, I'd be willing to say probably 80% or close to it. All right, so 71%. 71% has been the retracement for the dollar. It's also in a bullish fair value gap. So we're now getting close to the opening bell in just a minute. And so we'll see how that impacts the dollar. Plus the University of Michigan report that's coming out at 10, how that impacts the dollar as well. So we're in bearish fair value gaps for all the indices, and dollar just traded into a bullish one. Right, Rogers, Min, Ricardo, Brad, Iran, Deepak. Good morning, everyone. And Brad, absolutely, let's not give away the week's profits. Definitely, let's not do that. That could be. Yeah, Deepak, the only one that's really done anything as far as doing a retracement would be NQ, which was about a point or two away from reaching that equilibrium mark. All right, while we watch the opening bell, I'm going to go ahead and put my session highs as well as the midnight at 8:30 open. S&T on 1 hour highs. Rogers, can you give a bit more detail on the S&T for the 1 hour highs? You said on dollar plus correlated assets. Are you talking about the fact that S&P this hour took the high from last hour, but the other two didn't? Is that what you're referring to? See if we get price to push out of here. Hey, Thomas, good morning. All right, let's see now if it gives 25 points. It's going to have to go 30. Actually, no, it doesn't. Nope. Just needs to go 25. But this would have needed to been one of the breakers that would have needed to been taken by the 50% mark, not by the edge. It would have needed to been taken here just because of right here. There. All right, we're getting some life out of the Dow right now, which is good. Good to see. Okay, thanks for that, Rogers. See, you say GBP. Got it. Yeah, I'm not much into currency, so I appreciate that. All right, I'm just forward testing this to see if this kind of continuation breaker works as opposed to the reversals. All right, so we had the opening bell. We also had the FOMC Waller started his speech about 5 minutes ago. If anyone is copying this trade, you should be in demo. Hello, Lisa. Good morning. Seek and destroy opening session, Deepak. Yeah, it could be Deepak. That is a profile we get sometimes after a large range day, and yesterday was absolutely a large range day. So that could possibly happen today. Up and then down later. Okay, got it. Yeah, Milad, I'm just looking to see how price reacts at consequent encroachment. So I'm expecting it to get the consequent encroachment here. We'll see if that actually occurs or not, but that's what I'm looking at the moment. $860. Okay. Wow. Let me see where that is. Okay, 860. That's the top end of the new day opening gap from yesterday. Yeah, the Wednesday at 1800 new day opening gap. Got about 10 points to go to get 25 on top of this breaker. All right, consequent encroachment is within reach. Keep in mind, high impact news in 14 minutes. All right, consequent encroachment is reached. And there's the 25 points on top of the breaker. $787.25. We had this marked off as 787 flat, and it got a quarter over, which would have taken you out of the trade. So sweet. Let's go lower and see if we get a bearish or some other kind of, yeah, let's see if we get a bearish breaker here. Rejection at 767. We'll see if we get that. Well, hey, good morning. And back down to the 8:30 open, just like where we were at 9:30. So we saw the opening bell push down to the 8:30 open, a little push out to the consequent encroachment of the fair value gap, and now we're back to where we started. Just in time, in 5 minutes, we'll have the high impact news driver coming. Here on this low time frame, like the 1 minute, it does look like we are currently in a seek and destroy profile, even if it's just just over the last hour, hour and a half. We'll see if 10 o'clock with the high news, high impact news driver coming, that if we can break and shake out of this, this profile, because we went from here to a new low to a new high. And, and then it's just kind of trading in the range. Here's a low, then a new high, then a new low. Oops. Yeah, we still on a weekly profile. We still have an extremely small wick, like literally a couple handles maybe. Right, here we go. 6-7. Did it touch 6-7? 7-6-7. Sure did. New high it is. Tap back in here. Let's see if it goes higher. Oh, trachologist. Good morning. What's up? Hey, Splash. How's it going? Satya. Mm-hmm. All right. So far, let me see how much range we have here from 750 to 798. So about 50 points here in this 5 minute candle. But it looks like it may be done expanding. Wait until the next candle opens and see how that fares, whether it continues to push higher or we get a retracement back to the 830 open. All right, it looks like expansion is still on, maybe. Yep. Yeah, I'm with you, Queen. Right now, I realize we're in premium. We've already reached equilibrium on the most recent out leg on the hourly. But if you take the entire leg, we're not quite at equilibrium yet. So I'm not sure if price wants to continue higher or lower. And I generally just take 20 to 30 minutes after red folder is released. So I'm still holding, still waiting. But I do want to see if this turns into a breaker, a bullish breaker, just for my forward testing. Long at 690 from London this morning. Okay. Oh, nice. All right. So you caught the bottom then, Splash. If you get a classic buy day, then you're 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 golden till the end of the day. The five, but it's probably on all the time frames. The 3 minute, it's a little larger, and the 1 minute, yeah, the 1 minute is about the size of the 3 minute, so it'd have to be bigger. But I grabbed that one candle. That's the same range from the 5 minute. But yeah, if I extend this to 5 minute, then it'll be this size. It's 87 and a quarter. So we need to get to 812 and a half. All right, so if it delivers 25 points to the upside, we need to get to 812 and a half. So we'll see if that happens. I know that's in line with what Deepak was looking for. He wanted between 810 and 815, so it's splitting that right in the center. Let's see, 5 minute. Yep, Queen, you're right. 940, yes. Yeah, I realize it's in a consolidation zone, so it may not 100% meet the criteria. I originally saw it on the 1 minute, and then I just refined the area on the 5. Okay, so the 1 minute, yeah, the 1 minute does look a lot cleaner. In fact, the 5 minute never traded back. So here on the 1 minute, like you can get a whole, you can see the sweep of liquidity there before sweeping these two levels. So yeah, the 1 minute is definitely cleaner. It's a larger range, which got traded back into, whereas the 5 minute did not. All right, we're at the final. Okay, so the macro's now over. We'll get back up to the 5 minute. We'll watch it from there. Tell you what, I will change this. Oops. I'll just name it the 1 minute since I stretched it back out. Right back. I'm just going to go and grab a cup of coffee. I'll be back in 1 to 2 minutes. All right, there it is. So it did push up 25 points there. Yep, sure did. Malad, you was looking for 815 and it got it. Good job. Okay, on the full range from yesterday, equilibrium is at 822.5. So we're not that far away. We do have S&P. S&P just reached 50% of the most recent leg from yesterday, but the full extension, S&P really just got to 38%, so it'll take some time. Equilibrium for S&P is at 53.21. So while we wait, you know what? Let's just jump over and take a look at that. All right, so dollar did find some support here. It pushed out, bumped into a bearish fair value gap, and now it's back down to the bullish one. So we'll see if it finds support once again or if it is able to break below. Already by looking at it, it's a pretty deep retracement. So I'm a little surprised it didn't break through if it wanted to go higher. So we most likely are going to test this order block down here a little deeper. See if it wants to rebound and push higher, or if it's still able to go lower. We do have a pretty sizable wick that it might want to trade into consequent encroachment of, but we'll keep monitoring that to see. Obviously, looking at the inverse relationship, we're looking for higher prices over here in the short term for all the indices. As I mentioned, for the full leg down yesterday, almost at equilibrium there, 822 for NQ. Equilibrium is 53.21 for S&P, and I'm not even going to measure for Dow because the Dow hasn't really gotten started. It's pretty much the same spot it was at yesterday at noon time. So it's been 24 hours of very little movement in the Dow. Targeting 860, okay. So 825. Close enough, Queen. Yeah, I have 822.5. So yeah, pretty much. But Darius, what's up? Yes, we're here at 9:15. 9:15 every morning. And 1300 as well if you're looking for afternoon trading. Yeah, the 5 minute didn't trace that far, Eddie. So it looked a lot cleaner on the 3 and the 1 minute. So I'll show you what the 3 minute looks like. It's the area you see now. And in that case, it barely retraced. So we got a confirmation on this candle. The next candle traded barely back inside, and then it traded out. But where it was originally seen, because we were in the macro, is we were on the 1 minute time frame. So so what we had is, we had, as soon as the macro started, it started trading lower in anticipation of the news event at 10. So it traded below this last price leg that pushed higher. But then as soon as the news event came out, we cleared this high over here, which then turned this leg into a breaker. So we had the low to the high, lower low, close and higher high. And in doing so, this candle and the next candle that traded back in created the fair value gap here, which turned the breaker setup into a unicorn setup. And so it was, yeah, it was on the 1 minute. Now I did the same thing you did. After that happened, I turned to the 5 minute and I said, okay, well, it's actually this candle right here on the 5 minute. And then of course, this candle was the one that traded out and closed, but it never came back in. So you're right, on the 5 minute, there was never an entry. But it was the 1 minute that provided all of that. All right, Ladarius, good to have you. So welcome. Thanks for jumping in the chat. We don't often get a lot of new people that jump in the chat. I'm sure new people join and they watch our stream, but they're not always active or comfortable speaking. So thanks for jumping in and introducing yourself. The pack you took 820 to 805. Okay, sweet. Right into this 5 minute fair, or this 1 minute fair value. Let me go back to the 5, and we'll keep it here. All right, what did Queen say she's targeting? 825. Okay, not quite there yet, almost. And 860. Okay. Yeah, 860 Queen. I think it was either Milad or the pack who said they were looking for 860. And 860 I mentioned was, I think it was at yesterday's or the day before's new day opening gap, the upper limit. And yep, it sure is. That's where price opened up at Wednesday at 1800. When the market reopened, it's right at 860. All right, so we did hit equilibrium, which was at 822 and a half. We hit it just by handle. We'll see if that's enough or if it wants to continue higher. All right, 825. There it is. Okay, you got your stop loss all the way up. Okay. All right, good luck, Queen. 860. So you and the lot on the same program here. Yeah, I saw that. Yes, they did extend it. Well, from what I saw, it's 7 more days, but yeah, that makes sense. That's the end of the month. So thank you for that. Anyone interested in an Apex account, 250K for the same price as a normal 50K account? Apex has extended that promotion until 7 days from today. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you do that in the next 7 days. There's a link in my description, which would help support the channel if you're interested in an Apex account or Topstep. There's also a link in my description for that one as well. Yeah, it's Ladarius. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot. ICT concepts are it's a lot because ICT tries to teach I don't know 20, 30, 40 different entry models. So he's not the type of trader who has one or two models that he uses, and he just goes into great detail of those two models and just always just harps on it and drill it into you. So he's always doing something different, showing you something new in the market. And so it is a lot to absorb. I would say if you just want to watch or you just want to get one model that he uses on this channel, I focus primarily on breaker block and unicorn setups, which are almost the same. They both include a breaker block, but the unicorn is this one here, like you can see on the screen here, the breaker block. Anytime you see a blue box on my screen, that's the breaker. But then when there's a fair value gap inside of the breaker, then that's what we call the unicorn setup. So they're very similar, just one has a fair value gap inside and one does not. So that's primarily what I will focus on in this channel. But ICT, if you just want to grab something that is all encompassing, something you can learn initially, I would say his 2022 model is one he goes into great details, about 20 videos or so to learn that model. And if you know a little bit about trading, you probably can skip some of the earlier lessons that he teaches. And by the time you get to video 12 or so, he's done actually teaching the model. He's then just going over more examples in each of the videos. But I would probably start on the 2022 model. That's probably a good place to start. And you can also, like I mentioned, you can just keep watching for the breaker and unicorn setup here. The unicorn setup, if you just want to learn that one, inside of my Discord. So in the description of this video, you'll see a link that says social media / Discord, and click on that, go into the Discord. It's free. And within the Discord, you'll see a section. Let me pull that up so I know exactly what it says. All right. Yeah, there's a section called Trading Library. You want to go into Trading Library, and there's a couple videos at the very bottom for called ICT Unicorn Model. So if you just want to learn those, there's 2 or 3 videos that'll just really get you up to speed as to how we're trading on, or how I'm trading on this channel. There are other traders here that are trading different models. So not everyone is trading unicorn or the breaker block that's in this channel. So if you see people in the chat talking about entries that are different than mine, that's because there are many different style traders here. But if you want to do the unicorn model in the Discord, go into Trading Library and you'll see a couple videos just specifically on the unicorn model, and that might be able to bring you up to speed a little quicker. But that ICT 2022 model, you're gonna have to watch at least the first 12 to 13 videos to get into that one. But just so you're aware, it took me about 1.5 years of watching ICT and studying ICT every single day to really grasp what he was teaching. So it's like a college education. It's long. All right. Queen and Milad, you're about 20 points away. It does feel that way, Wale, for sure. Oh, that's not good, Queen. Yeah, maybe over the weekend or into Monday, you can refine that process so it works better for you, especially since you're going to need it going forward. And Monday is a light trading day. Oh no, no, you can't be canceling orders that I didn't ask you to. Okay, so we have an inverse relationship between the S&P, Nasdaq with the dollar. So the dollar's pushing lower. The other two are pushing higher, but for whatever reason, the Dow has not gotten on board today. It's not interested in going higher or lower. Let's put on a new day gap. Let's put that on the screen here. So the gray area, that's that new day opening gap from 2 days ago. 860 is the level that has been called out by some of the subscribers as a TP point. And let me just go ahead and measure this out. All right, we see we got about 90 points from the opening of the hour. Okay, 750 all the way up to 840. Oh, completely forgot to mark up New York levels. So I think it's safe to say we took the New York. Oops. This will be the New York low, I think. Yeah. All right. Looking to see if this 5-minute candle can break through not only the new day opening gap, consequent encroachment, but get out of the fair value gap that's in the pink area. Trade above that at 843 and start to continue to work through the remainder of this gray area up to 860. Ooh. Let me see what you're talking about, Eddie. All right, so let me go into here. The answer to that question is yes, Eddie. So the breaker is the entire swing. So it's from the low to the high. So I'm dropping down time frame here. Here's the 3 minute. I think the 3 and the 1 was about the same. Yep. There we go. Yep, because this would be the high that you want to see eclipsed and closed above. So yes, you want to take the whole swing. And like sometime it'll be broken up, so you'll get like 2 bullish candles and then a bearish candle, and then 2 more bullish candles and a bearish candle, and then 2 more bullish candles that finish at the top. So in that case, you got a choice to make. You can either take the entire swing, or you can take whatever the last collect set of bullish candles that made the swing high. But there's a good observation, Eddie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dollar is in an area that can bounce. It's at an order block right now. It's traded below what was a bearish fair value gap. So in 13 minutes, we'll see if it stays below and invalidates it. But as of right now, I'm sorry, not a bearish, it's a bullish fair value gap. But it is traded below that. And so, yeah, we have 13 more minutes to see where the dollar finishes. But you're right, it could bounce from here, and it's inside of a bullish order block. Let me go ahead and I want to measure just to see what a dollar is, see if it's past 88%. I don't think it is, but I'll check. No, it's just now getting to 78%. In fact, it's to the tick, 78% retracement. Okay, you're right, Queen. We do have one here. We didn't get displacement, so that usually forces me to be a bit more cautious. But yeah, we did have a retracement here, a move higher, and then a move lower, closing lower over here. In a small little fair value gap here. So we'll see if it pushes out of consequent encroachment there. Let me just mark it up, and then we can monitor it to see, and we can use this as forward testing for practicing breaker setups for everyone who's not as comfortable with breakers. It could have just been a trade back to here. Since when it traded higher, we hadn't had a retracement back to this level, which is generally what you get from price. Yep, so there it goes. Did not hold. All right, but we did trade to the upper limit of the fair value gap here. So now we want to see if price wants to trade out of it as opposed to just trading to the upper limit of it. And we have 10 minutes. So we're getting ready to go into the macro period. We're already on the 1 minute, so no need to switch. But the next 10 minutes, if we're going to invalidate this area, we want to trade higher and close higher. So when we get to 11 o'clock, we want to be higher than the pink area. So we invalidate it. In fact, let's see if we can hit 860 during the macro. See if we can get in a continuation here. Yep, let's see if during this macro we can get up to 860. 860 so you guys can TP out. I know you've been holding the trade for about an hour now. All right, CEO, we'll catch you next time. The macro is time period. It's the last 10 minutes of the hour and the first 10 minutes of the following hour. During that time period, there's a set of instructions given to price, or at least that's what I've been led to believe. And you'll either get a breaker that's confirmed or traded into. You'll get a market structure shift, like something with price that you're looking for, some change will generally occur during that time. So for me, I use the macro to enter trades. So if I have a breaker set up that I'm looking to trade, I'm waiting for the macro to come to enter. So we can see here at 1050, well, at 1049, this breaker was confirmed. At 1050, it traded back in 1051, 1052. And now it's trading out of it. So I would have been waiting, even though we're looking at this entire price range here as potentially creating the macro. It was confirmed at 1049, and I'm looking to enter during the macro. So this trade would follow my rules as far as entering a trade. I like to do it during the macro period, and that's because, as you can see, look, price is moving. There's no back and forth. It's on its way. It has a mission, and it's going. So we've hit 860. Samalad and Queen TP has been hit. Congrats. I know you guys took it from the previous breaker, which was down here, which also we had it confirmed at 10, which is during the 950 to 1010 macro, traded back into the fair value gap, also inside of the larger breaker, the blue area, between 950 and 1010. So that also would fit the criteria for a trade for me. So I not only need the setup, but I also want time to align. All right, I have this set up now to see if it delivers 25 points from the breaker, which is through my back testing. I like to see 25 points. I've seen it happen so many times that that's the level that I usually try to reach on a breaker is 25 points. Now, if you do take a trade at consequent encroachment or somewhere deeper into the breaker, you can add 25 onto it, or you can leave it at 25 and just reach TP a lot easier, have a safer trade. So those are, that's a choice you get to make based on your risk criteria. Yep. All right, there's 25 points from the breaker. Right here, entry would have been at 1050 and 1058. You would have been done. No, it's okay, Lisa. It's okay. This is a setup that you'll want to practice. You'll want to get used to watching the market and seeing it form real time. And you get several of these per day. And the way I try to find these, because I was the same way. It was always, I was catching them late, and it was after it was running, then I look and I said, oh, there was a breaker right there. I missed it. Is more or less anticipating a breaker. So as you're watching market structure, where You get, you watch your market structure do this, right? So every time you get a low, it makes a new high. And then when it retraces, it never comes below the previous low. So that allows you to just follow price. But as soon as you get a trade below a low, that's when you should be triggered. So when this happens and it breaks this low, now you got two choices. You can either wait. If you think you're still bullish and this was just a liquidity sweep, you can wait for it to retake the high right there. And then which will create a bullish breaker. And then on the retracement, you take an entry to whatever target you're looking for. Now, if that's not the case and you think, and we just reached a 1 hour or 4 hour or some type of area that price wanted to trade to, whether it was a previous session high, a previous day high, whatever, and you think now it's going to reverse and price breaks this low right here, now this becomes the breaker. So we had a high, a low, a higher high, now a lower low. So the breaker is here, right? And in that case, now you want to see this return back in to go down. So it really depends on what your bias is and how you see the market on the higher time frame, whether you think it's now hit a point where it wants to reverse or whether it's going to continue. And so you start anticipating it based on watching market structure. And then when you see, like in this case, we had a low here, which made a high, traded lower, made a high, and now this traded lower than this low. So when this traded lower than this low, now you're watching, you're wondering what happened. And you start anticipating what might come. And so that's therefore your breaker is already drawn and you're just waiting for this to occur, close, trade back in because it created a fair value gap, which turns the breaker into a unicorn setup. And then you take it out. And since it aligned with time, we're inside of the macro, you feel a little bit more comfortable in that setup. All right. So Layla, all right, good job. Way to go. Everyone who's new to the unicorn model or breaker blocks, or you're still not 100% familiar into how to identify them, how to trade them, what exactly it is, here is a playlist on YouTube that's not that long. It's under an hour. You should be able to watch 7-8 videos that are included there, and it'll give you a lot of information related to breaker block unicorn setup. Tyria, I am not in a trade at the moment. I am not in a trade. However, I have shown two setups this morning. The first one was during the news event at 10. We had news released. It showed this unicorn setup, which took price up to the new day opening gap, consequent encroachment. And so that was from approximately 787 up to 837. Right, so that was a 50-point move there. And then I showed another setup just recently from that same level, from new day opening gap, consequent encroachment, up to where we currently are, which is another 50 points. So those are the two setups I've shown this morning. I am not currently in a trade. Okay, you're in a buy? Okay, good. Where'd you get in at? Where's your entry? All right, folks, we have about an hour remaining. If you could do me a favor, and if you're enjoying the session this morning, you can hit the like button, click the thumbs up, and when you go to the description of the video, that'll help out quite a bit in letting YouTube know that the content here is valuable and that other traders may also enjoy it. So YouTube will start advertising and suggesting it to other traders, similar to the way you found this channel. YouTube will start promoting it to others. So if you can hit the like button, that would help out tremendously. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So Tyriet, are you using TradingView? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So what happens is the data that I'm getting from CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, that data must be purchased to get live data. Otherwise, it's going to be a delay of, I guess, about 15 minutes. So if you just open TradingView and you pull up E-mini Nasdaq, it's going to be 15 minutes delayed unless you pay for the monthly subscription to get live data. It's $7, I think. Now, if you are involved with a prop firm, whether it's Topstep, Apex, or any of the others, that prop firm pays for the live data for you. So that's part of whatever you pay on a monthly basis for that account. So just keep that in mind. You're going to be trading with delayed data if you just open TradingView and just use what they have. So it'll cost you $7 to get live data. So you can trade like a demo account, but if you actually wanted to trade for money, then you would need to have live data first. Okay, so I'm on the US 100. I'm not 100% sure how that differs. Okay, so you're not trading futures then. Min, what is DC? Said May 23rd at 3 a.m. Yep, absolutely, Robin. That was a bearish breaker. And you see it traded back into it yesterday at 11 a.m. And as soon as it hit it, then it dropped. As soon as it came back to that bearish breaker. Oh, Discord. Oh, yes. Discord is, if you go into my description, you'll see a link that says Discord/social media. And then there's a Discord link in there. Had no problem, Lisa. And that one should be, not only is it informative and quick and straight to the point, but it's also, it's I believe it's under 1 hour. So you should be able to watch it. If you didn't get it the first time, you should be able to watch it twice and it not take up too much of your time. Oh, okay. Interactive brokers. That's quite a discount. Thanks for that, Ladarius. All right, so the macro is now over and we can see what happened in that 20-minute period. We had a trade into the breaker, into not only the breaker, but the unicorn setup into the fair value gap. And then from there, 834 at the close of the breaker, here we are up at 890. So it gave a little bit over 50 points, 55, 60 points, somewhere in there. And now we're still pushing higher. We're up at right at 19 or 18,900. So I'm gonna go back up to the 5-minute. Again, we have about 45 minutes left in our session, 45, 50 minutes. Lunch high from yesterday, 18,933. Yep. All right, Splash, good job. We'll catch you next week. Keep in mind, Monday is abbreviated. I will not be streaming Monday, so possibly Tuesday. Have a good weekend. Miss Goody, good morning. Oh, okay, so you got CFDs. Okay, got it. Yeah, depending on where you're trading from, futures are not available in every country. So sometimes you do have to trade CFDs. So I get it. All right, Tyria, just figure out what works best for you, having to trade CFDs, and go from there. But the setup should be the same. The candles should look very similar. So if you are able to see the breaker and see the unicorn setups, then you should be able to still trade it. Oh, finally the Dow woke up. Look at the Dow moving. Let's go, and since we got another 45 minutes, let's at least check on our other indices and the dollar and see where we're going. All right, so the dollar did close below what was a bullish fair value gap from here. So it is now, I'm going to say it's going to shoot for these lows. We're going to look for it to sweep down at 104.6 and a quarter. Right, so it's going to be bearish at least until we get to consequent encroachment. So somewhere in this area, and then we'll keep watching to see if it wants to go further. But look at our sleeping giant here, the Dow. Dow gave us about almost 24 hours of nothing. And then finally, we got a little expansion going on right now. Okay, finally, we got to mean threshold here, or equilibrium, however you want to call it, equilibrium here, 50% on the S&P, moving towards 61.8, which is optimal trade entry. We've already cleared 71% on NQ, so optimal trade entry as well if price wants to push lower. But since we just saw the dollar wants to push lower, we're going to still be bullish for NQ, even though we are running up against a bearish fair value gap. So we'll be cautious, but we're still bullish. And yeah, we got 45 minutes left. Uh, 50% of the Dow. Sure. Give me a second. Uh, 39,498. So basically 39,500. Okay, yep. Consequent encroachment right here at 18,951 and a half. Let's remove some of these areas that are no longer relevant. Okay. All right. Good luck, Miss Goody. I hope you can get it. Let's see, where are we on the weekly right now? All right. I want to mark up something. Show you. I want to mark up 50% of this wick from yesterday, the up wick. Hey, what do you know? It looked like it splits the lunch high and consequent encroachment of the hour SIBI in half. Okay. Let's look at the 4 hour, see if there's anything to pay attention to there. Look and see if this fair value gap is able to hold price above. Possibly buyers are losing momentum. Likely what's happened is there's, obviously a lot of sellers up here, but we'll see where price wants to go. It does need to retrace at times. You just can't run from lows to highs without any retracements. So we got a big area here without any retracements, and then we got a big area here without any retracements. So could just be slowing down. Going to do a slight retracement or something heading into lunch, and then we'll see the afternoon pick back up. Do you favor 720? Yeah, I'll wait until after the lunch hour to see if I'm favoring bulls or bears this afternoon. But we very well could do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought too, Milad. I was looking for things to short now. Could have probably sold at 912-ish. Here it is. Eight, two. Yep. All right, 982. All right, Laughter. Good job. Way to go. If you were still doing the Dow, then yeah, you probably cleaned up this past hour. Yep. Market structure shift. Let's see. Not on the 5-minute. Right, market structure shift is down here somewhere. Let's see what time frame. What time frame are you looking at, Ladarius? Now there's a market structure shift on. I'm looking at the 5-second. That's where I saw that price was wanting to go lower. So there was a market structure shift, which is why I also marked up 882. But you can see even on the 5-minute, it could trade down here and then resume bullish, and that just be a retracement back to discount, which is at 866. Right, market structure shift on the 5-minute is down at 814 or 814. Let's see if we move to 3-minute. Same. 1 minute. Where did we get a pullback? A real pullback. Same. Yeah, everything from the 1 minute up. There's no market structure shift until we get to 814. Now, what we do have is potentially a change in state of delivery, which is when you see price start to go the other way, but not necessarily where we flip from bullish to bearish. It's just essentially a pullback. I will be right back. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. All right, looks like this fair value gap on the 5-minute is holding. Let me go back to the 5-minute here. There's a fair value gap. You see price traded down to consequent encroachment and closed there, opened up the next candle there as well, and now it's pushing higher. So we did not get a push lower of 25 points. It was only like 10 points there. All right, Queen. Catch you next time. And congrats again on that trade you took this morning. Okay. Yeah, I'm 9:33. We have the lunch high from yesterday. Oh, Terry, I would say difference between the prop firms. There are differences, and there's differences in price. There's also some are integrated with utilizing Tradovate, which goes through TradingView. You can use TradingView to trade it. That's how I do Topstep. You can do Apex the same way, but you would have to choose the Tradovate as opposed to Rhythmic. So you'll want to notice the difference between Tradovate and Rhythmic prop firms. And they also have different rules as far as what it takes to pass. Some you can pass in one day. Some you have to have no more than 50% of your total winnings on one day. So that means you have to have at least a minimum of 2 days. So yeah, there are definitely some differences. So you'll want to scour through YouTube. There are some YouTubers who have already made videos comparing the different prop firms. I have affiliate links for both Apex and Topstep. But there are others that use my funded futures. I only trade futures, by the way. So some of the other ones, and I know a lot of the ones that were trading currency pairs are, for whatever reason, are no longer available. And a lot of the people who traded currency are now switching over to futures. So I would say I would definitely lean towards the futures if I were you, looking into what that means. But also look and see what country are you representing? Are you? Yeah, you can trade gold and futures on all of them. I've seen they have gold and they have U.S. oil, or not U.S. oil, but oil. If you want to trade oil, trying to think of which other ones are guaranteed to be on there. They have NKD if you like trading the Japanese charts. Okay, so this is why I was favoring a short. You probably heard me say I'm just looking to see if it goes lower. So I was looking for a bearish breaker and I couldn't find one on any of the time frames until I got down to the 15-second. And this is where I found it. So we had a trade from this high down to this low, and we had to trade higher, and it had to come all the way over here, and then finally we got to trade lower in a closure. So confirmation went there, it traded back inside and traded lower, but remember I said it only went 10 points because it traded right back inside. Now, whenever you're looking at a breaker, the leg that went higher, but we're looking at a bearish breaker, so now we need it to close lower. You still have to account for this entire range. That price might want to trade back into this range. So just because the breaker stops here at 914, price could still trade as high as 917 without invalidating the setup. And so that's exactly what happened. It went down 10 points, traded back up above the breaker, but not out of the orange area. Tapped into the fair value gap again and started trading lower. And so looking for 25 points out of the breaker, it's still possible. I don't think we've reached it yet. Nope, not quite. Need to get down to 883. And that was that line I had marked up earlier, 883. We were looking to see if it would trade that low. But yeah, this is what it would have been. So you had like almost a 9-point stop loss there. And you'd have been looking for 25. Now this is taken out of the 5 seconds. So asking for 25 points out of the 5-second breaker is probably a lot. I haven't back tested that enough to know if it'll still deliver 25 like the 1 minute does. But that was, I just wanted to give you an insight into what I saw and what I was looking at. And the only reason why I went to grab it was because when it touched the fair value gap above, it started to show a reluctancy to push higher into it. So I felt like price was weakening and I started looking for a bearish breaker. And I couldn't find one until I got to the 5 second. It's now, let me look and see if it's has now created one on a higher time frame. See what this one looks like. Still waiting on the macro. Like I would like if I was going to enter this, I would do it on the macro, but this could be a bearish breaker. Could be. We'll say I'm not in love with the setup. Let me look on the higher time frame and see if I can find something better. 2 minutes. No, I'll wait for a better setup. That appeared to be more of a reach, and I don't want to reach to try to force a setup. I'm not sure. I think you can tier it. I'm not sure about on. I think you can trade gold in US. Well, you won't be trading US 100. You'll likely be trading NQ futures like we are trading here. So if it's not offered in your country, then you're not going to be able to sign up for that prop firm. So I would check and just make sure that the prop firm was available in wherever you're from. So that's the 5 minute. Okay, it traded below. Okay, so this is invalidated now. In fact, maybe this is going to be an inverse now. Let's see if it sends price lower. All right, we got a macro coming in about 2 minutes. So I'm going to drop down to the 1 minute time frame and we'll watch the rest of the session from the 1 minute. right, here's the macro. Next 20 minutes, we have the 1150 to 1210. So, all right, there it is. So from up here, that 5-second breaker that I showed you, it gave 10 points. It retraced all the way back up. It gave 20 points. It retraced back up to the origin, and then it gave the 25. So for me, that's good forward testing on the 5-second because I don't have enough experience with the 5-second to really believe in that breaker setup, but it just worked. It just would have taken some time. You would have had to enter somewhere around 11:20 and then wait 30 minutes for it to deliver. But I'll go back and show you where it was. Oops. That's this one here. Yep. So this was the first one, pushing down 10 points, retraced back up, pushed down 20, came right back up into the breaker again, and now has delivered the 25 points without shifting market structure on any of the 1 minute and higher time frame. This is just a pullback at the moment. It could turn into a market structure shift, but at the moment, it's just a pullback, just a retracement. Oops. Now, if we remember, this was a 5-minute fair value gap that was traded below, which invalidated it, traded right back into it as an inverse now, and using it to trade lower. All right, so now we need to look and see if this is going to turn into a market maker sell model. We'll then get it trading below, down into this area, back down to 830. This is delivered. It's 25 points. I need to hang on to that. Anyone currently in positions, shorts or longs? Oh, Lisa, you're in a short. Okay. All right. Well, do have relative equal lows. I would assume that price will want to return down and sweep this low here, 878. So hopefully your low continues or your short continues. I mean, got it. Okay. Good sign there. One more fair value gap to pass, and then we'll be looking at sweeping the swing low at 878. All right, everyone, that does it for our morning session. I want to thank you all for your participation and thank you for your attendance as well. On the way out, make sure you hit the like button if you haven't done so already. If today was your first day discovering the channel, or if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel also, so you're getting invitations to every time we go live, as well as reminders if you're a little late to the party. I will be back at 1300, so we'll take an hour break here, and I hope to see you again this afternoon. Again, this is the final trading. This is the final session for this week, and Monday is a public holiday, so the U.S. banks are closed. There's probably going to be low volume, but in the morning, London is still trading. So if you want to trade Monday morning, you can. Monday afternoon, of course, the markets are closed. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in an hour. All right, see you then.